going to have him lose a yard or two, but I don't think he cares at this point. And I think one more, and so that does it here from John Gamble Stadium. Final score, Kings Mountain 42, Shelby 17. We'll take a 3-minute break. We'll be back with our Kings Mountain Auto Supply, Homestar Mortgage of Shelby post-game show. Back after this.
Is it time to change how your home?
You hear them pads going clack, 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 clack. You hear them clicks going tap, 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 tap.
704 beats by Alex J.
Yeah. First and 10. We in the trenches. You like the water cooler. You be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, come punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. Win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. Win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option. That mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. 4 receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score 6 scoreboard, that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes, so all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. Win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win. We just came to win. Win. We must protect this house.
To the Renaldo Automo post-game show with Mr. Will Boykins, Kevin Hastings, and Mr. Dennis Davis, with Terry still giving the scores. So,
good evening, JP.
and of course I'm JP.
Can you
with
hear
DJ.
us?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Testing.
What
1, 2, 3.
about Dennis beside me?
Yeah, I can hear you. At least on the headphones.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to KTC Broadcasting's Renaldo Automo post-game show of North Carolina High School Friday Night Football. Folks, welcome on YouTube. You're watching on YouTube. If you're just listening to the song on the radio and watch it on YouTube, that is our very own Cherryville's own Juan Wilson. He's actually one of our announcers. He does the Kings Mountain games tonight, though. However, he was on camera work tonight over at Kings Mountain. If you folks watch that, look that up online on YouTube. We got some we made some couple of videos in the past with it a little bit, and but we've got it. We're gonna make a new one coming up this fall. I think you guys are gonna enjoy. We're gonna put together for everybody. I think Will's ready for that, right?
Oh yeah. Is that an MTV special coming up?
We're gonna have a brand new music video, bringing it to everybody coming up here in a couple of weeks. Got to put that together, but it's gonna be fun for that. But yeah, 1G, look it up on YouTube. It's called Win Friday Night Lights, FNL Win Friday Night Lights 1G KTC broadcast. It's on our page if you want to go listen to it there. All right, folks, we've got some scores. Big night in high school football across the area. Of course, we specialize in Gaston, Lincoln, and Cleveland County football on KTC broadcast. And, of course, the conferences they're in, and then the teams they play, and then the West, and kind of branches out from there. And we've had some big games tonight on KTC broadcasting. 5 games tonight, folks. Freedom and Crest, Bessemer City and North Lincoln, Burns and Newton Conover, Shelby and Kings Mountain, Highland Tech, and Cherryville. And ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Davis and Will Boykins are here to give you the scores. Y'all got to start on this end, and I want to do the ones that we did tonight real quick, and then we'll get into that. Folks, hold your calls tonight. Don't call us yet. We got some calls. We're going to hold those off to 11 o'clock hour. We've got some people to talk to. We've got announcers to talk to. Ken Link's going to give us a call on WLON with the game they had tonight. North Lincoln Knights, big win tonight. Glad I didn't have my bet with my good buddy Smoke tonight. I'd be wearing a North Lincoln jersey. It's a good thing he's not here right now. But I love my buddy and the folks over at North Lincoln. Coach Basil and Coach Ludwig, they do so much stuff over there. But we're going to talk to Ken in just a second. You guys give the scores here, and then we'll get into some more football in just a moment on KTC Broadcasting.
Which board you want, Will?
I'll take the first one.
All right.
It is the Chase Trojan over Roseman, 55-6. St. Stephen's over Fred T. Ford,
Go Trojans,
26
go.
to 21. Watauga over Ashbrook, 42 to 14. Ronald Reagan over Hickory, 46 to 21. Hunter Huss over Central Cabarrus, 34 to 21. Dennis?
All right. We've got Stuart Kramer in South Point tonight. And Jeff was at the Kings Mountain game tonight. He's going to be calling us. He's so excited because South Point beat Stuart Kramer 35 to nothing tonight. RS Central.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
I've just interrupted you on accident. I really did. We do have a caller on the line. Finish your scores and we'll go to our caller.
We'll get this board and then we'll go to the
I thought you
caller.
were done for a second, I just messed up.
No
Go
problem,
ahead,
Kevin.
Dennis.
South Caldwell and RS Central in a slobber knocker tonight. South Caldwell 44, RS Central 43, Will. Don't get no closer than that. It was Alexander Central over Olympic tonight, 55-28. And Terry, the West Lincoln Rebels, the South's going to rise again, 69, East Burke 21. Ooh, Rebels. Ashbrook and Watauga tonight. Don't go up the mountain because you might have to roll back down. It was Watauga 42, Ashbrook 14. East Lincoln 56, East Gaston 7. It was Pisgah 28, East Rutherford 25. What did I hear on that pregame show, Terry, about Pisgah just running all over them? Anyway, 28-25 Pisgah tonight. All right, Kevin. We got a caller?
Yeah, I think if JP, who knows if JP got it right? It's supposed to be Tim Johnson.
Well, Tim coughed. I know his cough.
Look,
You know
it was one time.
No, it's every time. Tim, is that you?
Hey man, what's up,
Hey,
Kevin?
what's up, Timmy? How about them? Listen, I get all I have to say before you start is I know there's a protest up in Pumpkin Center tonight because there's no way that the Knights fairly beat the Jackets 42-0. So you guys need to go ahead and tell me what the protest is, and then but I know the Knights are looking pretty decent right now, right?
Yeah, they're looking really good. I mean, Coach Basil's got his football team playing really good, and they're excited. I mean, it's a great football game. I mean, Bessemer City, I mean, they just don't have, I guess you say, the defense or the firepower on defense to stop a team like North Lincoln. North Lincoln's got a lot of speed on offense. They've got some size, and they play fundamentally sound at football, and that's because of the coaching staff.
Well, Tim, let's just admit it. North Lincoln is a pretty good team, and Bessemer City really hadn't been the same since that Hastings boy left.
Well, let's go over some of this real quick, Tim. Though, as far as Bessemer is concerned, a lot of teams play up or play down to their competition. They lost to an undefeated Chase team. They lost to a Forest View team that beat South Point. They beat a 1A team in their conference, in Community School of Davidson, and then they lost to a very good, some people think might beat North Lincoln team. So, these 1A teams, some of them play up, some of them play out, and then as well, some of the 2A teams like Shelby, they'll play up, Crest, they'll play teams that are good. They'll play up, and a lot of these teams will. Do you think that Bessemer's going to get the benefit of playing those teams if they have, like I said, they won against Community School of Davis, and now they've got Mountain Island Charter, Highland Tech, Union County. It's 1A teams the rest of the way. They don't have to mess with these bigger schools, and of course North Lincoln's not a small 2A. It's one of the largest. They used to be in the 3A, 4A conference.
Hey, I take my hat off to Bessemer City. I mean, because like you said, Ken, I agree with everything you said. A team like Bessemer City can only get better and can only, help their chances on down the road when they play competition like that, especially if you got a young football team. And, North Lincoln's a really good football team. And they went to the third round last year, and Shelby beat them, and Shelby's, defending state champion. So, when you have a football team that don't play a tough schedule, I don't see how you get any better. I mean, you got to play better competition in order to get better. So I take my hat off to Bessemer City, and I think Bessemer City's got good football players. I mean, that number 32, that big running back, I saw him carry about 4 or 5 years of North Lincoln down the field. So
what number did you say it was? Who was it?
Number 32, I believe it was.
Okay, I'll get him in a sec. Go ahead.
But yeah, I don't, I don't see. I wouldn't hold my head low if I'm Bessemer City. They just played an outstanding football team, and North Lincoln's really good. They're probably cream of the crop at South Fork 2A.
Now, speaking of South Fork 2A,
Will Boykin.
Listen, my friend, we was discussing this game Wednesday night on our Best in Sports talk show.
You got it.
WLON, tell the time and give yourselves a plug.
It comes on every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. WLON, KTC.
You getting a raise, Will?
Burns went up to Newton Conover tonight, and just like I told you, laid a little bit of the smack down.
You did. You caught it. You caught it, Will.
So now next week, they are going to be playing my favorite South Fork 2A team, which is
Lincoln High School.
Lincoln High School. I told you they was going to get softened up in this game. They got banged around. I told you Burns was going to be physical. They beat them around. Now, I'm sending out a shout out to Coach Glass and the boys over there at Lincoln. They beat up. Don't let that stop you. Go beat them up some more. You look forward to that Newton Conover Lincoln game next week.
That's an interesting game. You're right, Will. I agree with you.
Tim, real quick with that question, how wide open? I think this conference. You could talk to anybody at any day, and they'll tell you a different team's going to win that conference.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, East Lincoln might be for real. They're pretty good. They've got speed, and they've got weapons on offense, and they got a quarterback who can get the football to them. Justin Barnett, outstanding football player. They got Finks. They got Lucas McConnell in the backfield. They got Cole Barber in the backfield. They got a good offensive line, and they got a really good scheme too. And I like Coach Lubowitz, and he's really excited. Me and Ken has talked to him a lot this year, and he's made some adjustments and stuff like that with that offense as well as the defense. Defense is playing good. So East Lincoln, I tell you, me and Ken talked about that on the way home. They might be the team that people's not, is not really giving them credit. But I'm gonna tell you something, guys. If they're going to gain confidence on down the road playing, competition too. But I can see East Lincoln being a team in the dark horse. I can also see Maiden Blue Devils too.
Well, I mean, we talked about North Lincoln getting the third round last year. West Lincoln's been dominant this year. Maiden, Newton hadn't looked good against Kings Mountain and Burns. That's not. That's okay.
Let's talk about Kings Mountain Burns. Let's talk about how good they are.
Yeah, right. So Newton, I think they're going to give some people some surprise as well. That conference interested me, Tim. I just got some of your stats. Your players of the game. It was Christian Snyder was your player of the game with 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yes.
Defensive player of the game, Joseph Alberti, a 40-yard blocked punt return for a touchdown for him.
Yes, I tell you, one thing about I can say honestly about North Lincoln High School, they've got really good special team players all over the football field. I mean, George Fox tonight, return punts and stuff like that. Excellent job by George Fox. Like you said, a big boy who blocked the punt. He tossed the punt and took it in for a touchdown. And you got Sarouche, you got Brady, you got the big name talent there. You got Trevally Price on defense, and Seth Wheatley on offense as well. I mean, they're loaded. You got Landon Beer, and then plus you got Jack Carter, Daniel Carter. I mean, they're loaded. I'm telling you guys, they are without a doubt the cream of the crop. They're the team to beat. East Lincoln, West Lincoln. West Lincoln, they're a good football program. I mean, Coach Ponder, he walked into a really good football program that Tom Sane had, really built, 10, 11, 12 years ago. And, they're going to be hard to beat. It's going to be a good – we're going to find out what West Lincoln's all about next week when they play North Lincoln.
That should be a barn burner over there between West Lincoln and them. Any predictions on that, Tim?
Yeah, North Lincoln will beat them.
Not that you would have any hesitation.
There was no hesitation in that at all, Tim.
I mean, listen, West Lincoln has got a good football program, and they got a good defense. They got, I think, 13 kids back on defense from what they had last year. So that's a plus. But I just don't think they're going to be able to score enough points to beat North Lincoln. North Lincoln's defense is really good.
Come on in here, Terry.
Tune in next week for our.
Come on in here, Terry.
I think every game in that conference is almost a toss-up. Like I said, I mean, East Lincoln, I guess you could favor them in almost all the games right now, looking at it so far. But my goodness, West Lincoln, if they don't turn the ball over, it's going to be tough to beat. North Lincoln, the same thing. I think it's all going to be about turnovers. Nobody's really passing. Is anybody really? I don't think anybody's really throwing the ball around really over there in the conference, are they, Tim? Is anybody spreading around besides East? I know East. Yeah, I knew East Lincoln was. Sorry about that. To the guys up there, we had some players of the week in the paper this past week.
Maiden Blue Devils.
Maiden Stone, Willie Byrne.
12 touchdowns.
Yeah, Willie knows his he knows how to throw it around and spread it around up there. So so you got those two. So the rest of them, it is a turnover thing. Like tonight, you see with. And people kept asking me, Will, and ask you two guys using the stadium, Dennis. Everybody kept asking, what do you think about this game? What do you think about this? And I'm like, well, with the way Shelby throws the ball the whole time, Kings Mountain just really needs. If they're going to score, they're going to put 30 on the board, but it's going to come down to turnovers. Whether Shelby throws a couple, or if Kings Mountain maybe puts the ball on the ground, maybe even the new quarterback, new rivalry, that maybe he turns it over, and the same way with that, Ken. I just keep looking at that conference, and I just don't know in the South Fork 2A, and don't be surprised if West Lincoln is on a mission this year because of how they got in the ranking, the playoffs last year, and how they got. Yeah. They were originally supposed to have a home game, and then whoever come up with the system that we're in ended up with them an away game at Shelby. Not an away game. You got an away game at Shelby. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Like that was just ridiculous. I want to say that for the Rebels. They got jobs on that one.
Kevin, they got two excellent football players at West Lincoln. They got more, but there's two kids to me that stand out, and that's Cannon Bridges and that's Xander Pendergrass.
Yeah, Pendergrass. You got to see him run.
Yes, they got a quarterback too, Mason Hewitt, who's outstanding too. But their defense is really good at West Lincoln. If they can, let me tell you something, can they beat North Lincoln? Absolutely. Can they beat East Lincoln? Absolutely. They're going to have to score some points against these teams. And last year, North Lincoln came in down at West Lincoln came to North Lincoln last year, and they got beat 7-6.
Terry, come here. You got the, you were talking rivalries last week, and you said something to me Saturday about North Lincoln and West Lincoln being a rivalry, more of the rivalry for you guys, and I'm really excited about this game between the two, red versus blue. They're both running kind of, for the most part, the same offense, Tim, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. You guys, we're going to have a great game. Next week we got Maiden. Then West Lincoln, though, they've got North Lincoln and Maiden, so we're about to find out exactly what they are these next 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
And then none of us mentioned Bandies, but while we were sitting here talking yet, Hunter is throwing up his arms wherever he's at right now. I promise you,
Bandies. You know something about Bandies?
Well, they've only finished like 3rd or 4th in our poll last year, and so they had a good season last year.
Isn't that a suburb of North Lincoln?
Yeah,
in Catawba County.
Hey, Dennis Davis.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's 5 teams at the top of the chart.
Yep.
How I look at it. You got North Lincoln. You got East Lincoln. You got Bandies. You you got Maiden, you got West Lincoln. Let me ask you 5 top teams. One of those teams is going to be the surprise team. And whoever it is, it could be West Lincoln, it could be East Lincoln, but somebody's going to be a surprise team out of those 5 teams.
Oh yeah, it's, as always. And by the way, I know you got a remote tomorrow with Ken, but Terry said if you could call the morning show, he'd like to discuss a few things with you.
Tell Terry Reinhardt I love him.
Hey Terry, he loves you.
Yeah, Ken,
Terry's the only friend I got.
Terry's the only friend you got?
You in trouble, buddy. You in trouble.
Hey, you guys doing a great job. Y'all keep up the good work.
Hey, we appreciate you calling in.
Will, bring some money next Wednesday.
I'll try my best to, my friend. I'll try my best to.
What do y'all got, a sports show or a poker game?
Both.
I'll see you guys. Y'all have a good night.
All right, good
All right,
night.
we'll see
Thanks
you.
for calling, man. Okay.
All right, Terry's going to join us for a second. He's got
Sure.
some. He don't have we don't have the stats right off the top of our head, but we'll get those for you guys. And but we were talking rivalries and stuff last week. These teams have beat each other quite a bit back and forth, Terry. And you were talking about last Saturday morning on the show that you kind of considered these two teams were probably maybe the biggest rivals to each other for the West Lincoln and the county as far as record-wise.
It is. I mean, but these two teams are pretty much basically, and they about run the same kind of offense.
Is it not the same? I haven't
That's
seen
what I'm
West
saying.
this year in person. I've seen North, and they usually do run that offense. So I didn't want to come out and say that's what they run. But from what I was thinking, don't they run? Isn't this
Almost
two
the
teams?
same thing.
One team's red, one
images.
team's blue, and
Mirror
we're about to see
images.
the same thing.
And in last year's game, I mean, West Lincoln lost 7-6, but it was a big play that beat them, a 70-some yard run.
Are we expecting a 7-6
I think it's
game
Sarouche
this
was the
year,
guy that
too?
run it. But I mean, they got beat by a big play.
Right.
This I'm trying to tell you, and Tim's on one side, I'm on the other one. West Lincoln's pretty good, defensive wise. They are solid, and
Well, he hadn't seen them yet this year, has
that's
he?
what
I
I'm
don't think.
saying.
I think
When
he's
you go
seen
to
North
play
twice this year. So
West
far.
Lincoln, North Lincoln's not going to score no 40-some points.
No, I don't think so.
This game's going to be a nail biter all the way to the fourth quarter, and it's going to come down to whoever's got the ball last. North Lincoln, this is West Lincoln's first test, but West Lincoln's been waiting on this game for a year.
Well, here's my
because
question.
they
And a lot of
really
times
gave a game away last year.
in these close games, and I guess you Crest fans know very well.
We know something about
Close games. And Terry, with a 7-6 ball game last year,
Yeah.
you can easily look at that game and say special teams, special teams, special teams. Whether it's punting and field position,
Missed
and
extra
also, but
point.
there's an extra point or a 2-point conversion or something going on. Like I said, you guys have had those over the years. How critical, is that going into this game in particular?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's going to come down. If you got two teams squared off and they're both pretty even, whoever makes the mistakes, or you get them flags thrown against you at wrong times.
Well, Terry, I don't want to switch away from West Lincoln, but I'll give you an example. Shelby Kings Mountain tonight, on paper, pregame. You can talk about it this way or you can talk about it that way. Hard to pick, but then when it hits the field, it's exactly what you said. It's a break here or there. It's a dropped pass.
It is.
It's a referee's call. What they do? Where did that come from? It's those kinds of things. A pass interference. An offsides. Some little thing can turn the whole game around. And
Okay.
that's what we saw tonight.
Well, this is a game West Lincoln. I mean, people look at the score and they say, oh, man, West Lincoln rolled 69-21. At one time in this game, East Burke led 14-13. That's your wake-up call. Hey,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
get
yeah,
with the program. You cannot look to next week to playing North Lincoln. You got to win this one,
Wake-up call was 13-0.
Well, it's like at the Crest. I understand at the halftime there were U-Haul trucks circling the stadium, and they pulled it out 51-48. Will So you got to play it till the end.
Oh, yes, you have to.
But I'm agree with Tim on one thing. The South Fork 2A conference is probably the toughest for as competition-wise. All the teams are almost equally matched in that South Fork 2A conference. Is going to be
And I'm gonna tell
really
you-
tough. Really tough. The competition-wise is more evenly matched. You got three in Shelby's conference. You got Burns, Shelby, and South Point.
Don't leave out Chase, Will, because look at what Chase has done so far.
They'll be looking for Shelby.
I guess I need to turn my voice on.
Another thing too, when you was talking about the South Fork, if you go JV wise,
JP, did you hear
JP?
that? I don't know. Let me go check the sound.
We
on
got
that, you
static.
but anyway, when you look at the JV part of the schedule, you've got 5 teams in the JVs that are unbeaten.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
they
at
can't
this
stay
time.
that way,
Oh,
Terry,
that's what
and
I'm
that's
saying.
what
They
you're
have to
saying.
play.
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
The irresistible force against the immovable object. One of them is going to not retain that title.
It is, and I mean, I'm just glad the game's finally here because I know we was tweeting last week and talking to each other, and somebody said, when does West Lincoln need to be ranked? And I said, I don't want them ranked. I mean, you know, we don't want that pressure on us. Wait till after week 5 when we play somebody,
Right.
Yeah.
then put us in.
Then, you know, and the thing is, as long as the kids are they making progress and they're undefeated like they are, and it makes them hungry because they're not getting the recognition.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it keeps them hungry and make them want to have a point to play with a little chip on their shoulder.
And
That's
I
where
don't-
you want them to play.
I don't want to throw any stones at any team that's in our listening area, but sometimes the kids get to believing their press clippings, Terry. You know, they may have won 2 or 3 games, but who have they beat? A lot of times is important. And then they get in that tight game and they think they're privileged that they should win without putting in the effort on the field. And I think sometimes we see that, and then boom, next thing you know, they've gone on a losing streak of 2 or 3 games.
It can happen. I mean, you know, and we know how high school football is. If you take an injury, and Kings Mountain knows all about that, injuries before in the past have cost them seasons.
Raquel
know.
Mack has not played a down this year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so there you go. And we found out that he wasn't going to play. You know, he hadn't got the time in to be back on the football field yet.
Yeah, right.
Is what they
right.
kept saying.
Yeah.
Now he's been released by the
Yeah.
doctors, but he haven't had the time back.
But
in
I'll
practice.
tell you what, that sophomore running back they had tonight, I went, huh? He's pretty good.
Right. So, but the end game is they found out that they could play without him.
Without
and
him.
don't
But
have to
when
lean
he
on him
does
that Sunday.
come back,
So when he comes back, you
That's
don't
a
have
bonus.
to run him as much
Yep.
because you got this little sophomore kid over here, and you can really rest him and have him for the playoffs.
and a junior quarterback that was very.
He
Here's-
was. He
Here's
was.
a guy that was at Newton Conover, Terry, up in the area we're talking about up there, and he comes down to Kings Mountain, and what I hear is he took one look at that weight room they've got over there, and now they got that AstroTurf field down there, and the stands and everything they painted up. Kings Mountain got as good of facilities as anybody in the state, Terry, and what does that bring? Winning attitude.
Oh yes, it does.
You play like winners, we're going to treat you like winners. And the Touchdown Club over there is putting money in it. I had a guy ask me tonight, said, if you just write us a $600,000 check, we can pay this off. I told him, you're talking to the wrong guy. You can call Terry.
Yeah, and then he know he would not get no money. Yeah,
I'm glad you said Terry's name.
yeah.
Well, Calvin's gone. I
You
put
get volunteers for that.
him on Calvin.
Well, I'm about to talk about Big Willie over here.
No,
He's
sir.
in the What's Up shopper. Gotta see his dad.
Hey,
All right,
good
now
looking at
we do have a caller.
Cuz.
He was up in the press box today for a little bit today, but then he went down on the field, calling on the actual losing in tonight for the game for us. One of our correspondents, folks. Callers, fan callers, just hold on a little bit, about 11, maybe 15ish. We've still got to get our announcers in to give us their analysis of all the games before we can get to you guys. So just hold off on that. We're going to get into 11 o'clock hour, take some phone callers, give out the phone number at 704-435-2844, 704-435-2846. We're going to go to one of our Shelby correspondents, Steve DeGree. Steve, lines come out on the losing in tonight. Mountaineers 42-17. And I guess you're getting in the car and heading back to the house. It sounds like the door is ajar, Steve.
No, it's a door.
Yes.
Did you ever have a car that said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The door is
The door's
ajar.
ajar. No, stupid car. It's a door.
All right, Steve. We're trying to give you a little smile before on your way back home. How's it going, buddy?
Well, I'm okay, but just one thing. Kings Mountain whooped us. Can't make no excuse. They were the better team tonight. They whooped us offensively up front, defensively up front. And like you say, that number 21 sophomore, he's good.
He's good, but that quarterback's good too.
They had our number, man. You know, you just don't take nothing away from them. Trying to make excuses, the referees or whatever. Kings Mountain whooped us. You know, that's just the way it is.
Well, Steve, what I saw tonight in that game was speed on speed, and I thought Kings Mountain had personnel that could match up with Shelby. I have not seen another team that could match up with the speed and personnel that you have at the receiving positions, at the running back positions. But Kings Mountain had the kids that could go out there and run step for step. Did you see those receivers tonight? They were covering Paysauer. They were covering Davidson. They were covering all over the place. But that 21 running back, you can't cover everybody, and he was getting good yards. The same thing with Shelby. I thought their passing game was off tonight because those kids are used to being wide open because of their speed. Kings Mountain had enough speed that they could cover them and stay with them tonight, and it was just a matter of how the breaks went, how the calls went. Shelby has nothing to hang your head about. You guys, you know, it was a non-conference game for you. Trust me, Will and I know about losing non-conference games. And the Shelby Golden Lions are going to be, you know, very, very strong in that conference. You may very well go on and win another state championship. But here's the deal. Kings Mountain may very well win a 3A championship if they can get past that Weddington crowd down there this year.
I tell you what, Kings Mountain, they really impressed me. That quarterback, that one play when he was running out of bounds, and then he threw the touchdown. That was very, very impressive. But the play that really got me was that screen pass. Man, that was a great design play. When he rolled out to the right, threw it back to the left, and threw it to 21. Man, he was still running.
I know you told me. Steve, are you talking about the second touchdown of the game, Steve?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That was a great call.
Right. You're exactly right on that. I was staying on the Kings Mountain corner end zone with my son, and what they did was that they drug Kobe right in front of the linebackers, and it was like, you know, red meat to them. So everybody kind of stepped towards him a little bit. I think that's exactly what happened. You guys can correct me on film if you watch it later, but when he cleared out, it was a two wide receiver set to that side. When they both like drug and cleared out, and then like you said, they set up that screen to that side. Beautiful play. I thought he was going to just walk in the end zone. I got to give some credit. I don't know who tried to make the play, Steve, but those two Shelby defenders at least made a hit on the running back right at the corner of the end zone. But he had to dive in a little bit, but he still got the score. And you're right, it was a wonderfully designed play. But yeah, kudos to at least the Lions for getting back over there. I didn't think they'd even make it there.
Yeah, just offense just didn't have it. I was bragging my offensive line, but today they just didn't get it. But also you got to remember, sometimes you have to lose in order to gain. Sometimes, you know, you might lose a game, you know, to make you work harder, to think everything's not easy. Sometimes kids think things are always going to be easy. But even in life, life's not easy. So, you know, they just got to work a little harder.
Well, Steve, you brought up the lines. Both the offensive lines and the defensive lines for Kings Mountain are very good. I don't think Shelby had faced anybody of that caliber at this point. And what you just said, you can back up to get ahead. And I think at this point, you know, next week, down in the trenches, they're going to open their ears and they're going to work on their technique. And as we know about Shelby, they get better as the year goes on. And I think that's what you're going to see in the conference play from here on out. Is Shelby's line play on offense and defense is going to improve, and they're not going to do some boneheaded things that they did like tonight, like that a couple of penalties that I won't call anybody's name, but I thought was not in keeping with their character and not in keeping with the Shelby way of playing football.
Right. You know, we have a lot of unsportsmanlike conducts both ways, you know, because there's a kind of rivalry, and some plays wasn't called, some were called. So anyway, regardless of the situation, they just whooped us, guys. They was the better team tonight. Not trying, making no excuse.
Well, Steve, I know you were down there, and it was tough on you guys. I know there was some guy jumping up in front of you, and there was some controversy in the press box tonight about the scorekeeping and when you start the clock and all this, that, and the other. And I'm just going to say this. I don't care who the official was. The Kings Mountain people were doing it the way it's supposed to be done according to the rule book.
That's correct. They was talking about the 42nd clock. And my understanding, once the ball is dead, the 42nd clock's supposed to start.
You are
and
correct.
That's what coach was doing. But they was trying to say they ain't the way he's supposed to do it. But he had the rules right there in front of him.
Yeah.
So then they couldn't run the clock. Period. Then you really couldn't tell how many seconds you had left before you start to play.
Well, Steve, I don't want to get started on the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, but anybody that would attempt to put a bunch of cheerleaders on probation for something they did after the game that had nothing to do with the game and had nothing to do with anything, I think sometimes they do some things that, anyway, I just better shut up.
Sometimes are just left better alone and let them work themselves out,
Yeah, and the Kings Mountain people on the clock were doing a good job. They weren't anything that Shelby was complaining about. Wasn't anything Kings Mountain was complaining about. The argument was with the officials.
Yes, it was, and I thought they was gonna get it straightened out at halftime, but they never did. So
yeah.
Anyway. The clock wasn't no factor anyway, so I don't even know why they was fussing.
That's why it was so foolish, I thought. Well, Steve, who's the Lions got next week?
I think my conference play with East Gaston.
East Gaston.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good to have a week off.
Well, gotta correct a whole bunch of stuff first,
Well, it's a good time to practice what you've seen on the film and make corrections. Steve, once again, rain or shine, win or loss, we can count on you to call us. And Bobby will probably be calling in a little later. But, hey, you win some, you lose some, but it's the conference games that really count.
Yeah, like Coach Woodbank said, their goal is to win the conference and win the state. And that loss right there, then stop from what our goals are. But, just gotta play better. Because, 19's probably going to be loading up in the box. But they're going to use that film, to try to put pressure on our quarterback.
Well,
so,
Steve,
yes, sir.
We appreciate your call, and you have lost a non-conference game before and went on to win a state championship. May that be the fate of Shelby this year.
I told them guys, I said, we lost 3 games last year. And I told them every year we've won the state, most time we've lost to a county team. That's what I told them. I said, this doesn't make or break us. Even, you don't want to play bad, but you play bad, so just suck it up and go.
And it doesn't matter whether you lost by 1 or you lost by 30 like we did to Kings Mountain last week. You guys played them a lot better than we did. So there you go, Steve.
All right, fellas.
All right, Steve. Have a good night, buddy. Thanks for giving us a call. We'll see you next week, bud.
And
y'all too.
We have just one big freaking ray of sunshine.
Joel's here. And I just wanted to ask the Crest Boys over here who the best team in Cleveland County is right now.
Hey, there's no doubt. And they hadn't even played yet.
Why do that make a difference? Why do they make a difference?
Why does what make a difference?
Who will make the playoffs? Kings Mountain will make the playoffs.
I was just asking. Who's the best
Shelby
team in
will
Cleveland
make the
County right
playoffs.
But
Burns will make the playoffs.
See, the reason why you say who's the best team in Cleveland County is because we play each other. We don't sit up and talk about who's the best. We play each other to determine the best.
We strap it
on,
so
and
who's
we
the
play
best team
each
in
other.
Cleveland County right now?
And right now,
it's Kings Mountain.
The sun don't shine on the
I
same
wanna
dogs,
congratulate
all the time.
The
and
season's not
Kings
over.
Mountain is one big freaking ray of sunshine right now, Joel. Very
No,
appropriate.
it's not over yet, Joel. You've got a little work to do. You got some Chargers at the end of the year. You got some
Don't worry about that, Joel.
You got some Huskies in October. But right now, Joel, the Mountaineers. It's gonna be a good weekend, and hopefully, I don't know if you've noticed, and I'm glad Dennis is here. But behind me, I added an extra jersey this weekend because it's Mountaineer weekend here in North Carolina. If y'all didn't know,
And here's
it
the
is
problem.
Mountaineer weekend.
Here's the
boys.
problem. You know, who do they play
Mountaineers.
this week? You went to Appalachian.
Yeah.
I went to Appalachian. We got our shirt in Boone's. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the Carolina folks got theirs at the Walmart.
That's true. It is that is a good point.
However,
That it is.
I am
You
a
do have to
Mac
go to Boone to buy
Brown
an
fan,
Appalachian. You used to have to go to Boone to buy an Appalachian.
and I am a
shirt.
Mac Brown fan. And oh, wait a minute. Guess where Mac used to coach?
Appalachian,
Guess where he's coaching now?
North Carolina.
He's
Go
about-
Mac.
He's about to get a lesson. And welcome back to the state of North Carolina. And let's go Mountaineers. And then
That's in the morning talk,
Listen,
but that's
Will,
win number 3.
after they're done, after the
Win number
Mountaineers are
3.
done beating North Carolina
Win number
tomorrow,
3. Carolina get 3.
they're going to walk
up.
up. Lance Ware and the gang are going to walk across the hall.
3 and 1.
They're going to grab Chaz Surratt, and they're going to bring him back to Boone's because we need a quarterback because I don't know what they're doing over there in North Carolina. But anyway,
You talking about the
Joel's
linebacker?
here. Yeah, the linebacker. That's better than any quarterback that we got. Joel, the Mountaineers win big tonight. The final score, I done lost the final score. There's a microphone. Oh, it's up there in the corner. 42-17. I was looking at the Burnsville down there. We're going to talk with the Bulldogs and Red Devils here in just a few moments. Callers, just hold on. We're still getting our correspondence in, waiting on the Bulldogs to give us a call to stop by. Tell Bobby, hold on. You're going to have to call us back in a little bit. We're still waiting on our correspondence, Bub. Joel here, tell us here about Kings Mountain this week. This year they hadn't needed Kalen Mack. I was told he was cleared Wednesday. I don't know if that's accurate, and he hadn't had enough time for practice this Friday. But that was what I was told. It didn't matter. The defense has been playing well, and now, with the way you beat the Lions 17 and that you beat the Bulldogs, how you feeling about this 3A conference coming up?
Well, I feel good. It just we still got Crest and Huss to deal with, but
Right.
then you got the teams it sneaks up on you like a
Varsity.
I was gonna say Stuart Kramer, but
no.
ever since they lost their big tight end for
And
the
they got
year,
stomped tonight, 35-0 by
and
the
then
Red Devils.
because I was like. Because they say who's got the best tight end in the league? I said, well, it was Stuart Kramer. Now I think Kings Mountain's got it now with our
That's a
Fisher
big boy, too,
Number 18.
6'4".
Yeah, and they used to be the famous pitcher's dad, Stephen Fisher, back in the '93 championship team, and he's the.
What's he doing these days, Bob?
Last time I saw, he's working as superintendent somewhere.
Oh, yeah, superintendent of Cleveland County Schools.
Yeah. But it's like I was telling everybody this week, Shelby was still the top dogs of Cleveland County because till Kings Mountain proves they can beat Shelby, because everybody said, well, can y'all match up with it? I said, well, tonight I think we could because I told them we can match up with the passing. And I said, the difference is we got a running game this year. And I told everybody, I don't think Shelby's got that. And if they tried to run on, we're going to shut it down. And I was impressed with that. And besides, they had because quarterback, he broke some big ones, but just the actual running game, Kings Mountain had the edge on that.
Well, I'll tell you what impressed me about Kings Mountain. Their play of getting after the quarterback. Bess is a very competent passer. He can hit those receivers for 40, 50 yards at a clip. You guys never gave him that opportunity. You kept the pressure on him. You sacked him several times. You rushed him several times. The running backs who could usually break a little swing pass and go 40, 50 yards didn't get the big breaks tonight on it. You covered the receivers pretty well downfield. All in all, I have to say that Kings Mountain's defense was better than Shelby's offense tonight. And that doesn't mean that either one of those can't be championship caliber offenses for Shelby or championship caliber defenses for Kings Mountain.
Yeah, I was impressed. We checked him up and made him run basically all night long. And I said that's what we got to do. I said because we don't get after him, he's gonna light us up. But that's what we did, and I was just impressed how the game started. Cause I was I ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed with Hollifield with that personal foul on her. I know.
Well, we don't gonna call any names, Joel, but I thought it was not typical of him and his caliber of play.
Yeah, I was like, really? I was like, And I said, you about to make the wrong guy mad, and then next thing you know, you see what he did on the next play. I said, Shelby's defense about to get tore up right here. And next thing you know, he took off. I said,
Well, the reason for that, and I'm going to say the kid is a good kid.
yeah.
He's a very usually good sportsmanship about
Yeah.
everything. I think he was just so fired up because of
Yeah.
his Kings Mountain connection, with Dad having been from Kings Mountain, and they're wanting to get off of this, that it was just an overzealous reaction on his part. And I think as the game went on, that sort of calmed down, if you will.
Yes. I'm glad it was a clean game, even though it got chippy here and there, and I said, okay.
It's going to get chippy. It's a county rivalry
You can't
game.
play a
It's
county
the battle
rivalry in a
of
game
Buffalo
like
Creek.
this.
It's the oldest rivalry in North Carolina football. So it's the battle of Buffalo Creek. That game's going to get chippy.
Listen, that thing's been going on since Kings Mountain was a hill.
But I'm just glad Kings Mountain, because I've actually lost when's the last time we won a game against Shelby.
Well, Joel, we've got a guy that we need to get on the phone here, and I promised him express routing, and so
I know. We've
JP,
been making him wait. JP made it. I know. We did last
JP,
week. Joel, stay right here.
bring on
Stay right there, Joe.
Mr. Trey Albright.
Trey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey,
Hooray!
I heard there was an exciting game up there in Cleveland County today. And everybody's been talking about this Shelby Kings Mountain game. I heard there was a barn burner up there in Bowling Springs.
I
area.
go to Kings Mountain one night, Trey.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all what. I'm on these hazard pay. I got carpal tunnel from writing some of these stats down tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some extra pay in the paycheck, I think, or something. I don't know.
give give Robbie a pencil.
I'm gonna tell you what. I've never seen a third quarter. We had a third quarter where there were 7 touchdowns scored between the two teams.
Is that all?
Yeah, I've never seen that before, Dennis. And I've
Wait,
once you
Trey.
think the game slows down, once you think they got to going to hold them, and you think Chris is playing good, and here goes Freedom right down the field. Chris runs the kickoff back, and it was back and forth. It was still like me and Rob talked on postgame. It just felt like a heavyweight fight, back and forth. Body blows and big plays, and then you got an uppercut and a knockout blow, and Freedom still had a chance there at the end with about 45 seconds to go, and Chris played some great defense and held them on downs. Took the ball over, but Chris was down most of the game, guys. To be honest with you, they would get big plays, but then Freedom, their quarterback is really good. That Birchfield kid, I think he's signed to go to Navy, and he is something special, guys. He's not only is his athletic ability really good, he is really smart with the football. I mean, he was doing the run pass option and read option, and he was he had almost 120 yards rushing tonight and 300 yards passing. So, I mean, he just basically carried them on their back tonight. They got a good team. I mean, I would not sleep on them at all. They could put points up in a hurry.
Well, people talk about kids transferring and going to other schools down here in Cleveland County. I think he's supposed to be at McDowell, but, I don't want to say anything negative.
Yeah, he's a good talent. I personally haven't seen a quarterback like that as far as got the whole package. And he's 6'3". I think they got him listed, and he's got good size. And Chris had a time trying to get him down and corralling him a little bit tonight. But I'm gonna give a shout out to the defense. So Dennis, about 2 minutes to go, it's 4th and probably I was down there, probably wasn't even 6 inches, and Nick Beeson comes off the right side and just levels the running back for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Yeah.
And with the 40-second play clock, Chris was out of timeouts. So if they get a first down, the ball game's over.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Will for a minute because I think he wants to talk about one of his former nose guards who caught a pass tonight. Will?
What about Tank Jackson?
Tank caught a
What
pass.
about it? No, he didn't catch a pass.
Oh,
No, he
What he
played
did?
defense.
he played
He was
great
on the
tonight,
offensive
though.
line sometimes tonight, but he didn't catch a
was on the
pass.
offensive line sometimes.
Yeah. So now he has been known to catch a pass in the past.
Yeah, I know.
Well, who caught that last score for Crest that went about 85 yards down the field?
Oh, my dad. former
That
nose
Michael
guard.
Green caught the
Yeah,
Michael Green
There
caught
There you
the
go. There you
85
go. It wasn't
yard
Tank
pass.
with the 89-yard touchdown.
I'm
You
sorry.
told me it was your former nose
I'm
guard,
sorry.
Will. God.
You said Tank Jackson.
Nah, I said Tank.
No, it was an exciting game, guys.
What did Eli do tonight? What did Mr. Eli do tonight?
Eli, which one? Hall
Eli Hall.
or Brooks?
Hall.
Hall, he played good defense. He was out there on some offensive sets too, so he carried the ball once, I believe.
I was telling
know,
him as we was watching the game, I said, yeah, Eli used to play a little nose for me. He used to play on the offensive line. Now he's running the ball.
Well, Trey.
Yeah, he was probably way too much back in the day.
He did.
We played against him in elementary school, and now you don't have a red stripe, so he can run it.
Well, Trey, I've got to get to the heart of this matter. Enough about these Chargers. I want to know what happened to the Springmore Bulldogs last Saturday.
Well, Dennis, we won last week 20-12.
Yeah.
They scored. We were up the whole game, and it was a hard-fought game, a pretty intense game, back and forth. And we got on them early, and we were up 20-6. They scored, I think, a touchdown with about 20 seconds to go in the game, and made it the final score 20-12. So it felt good to get the win. Our kids fought hard, both offensively and defensively. They did what we asked them to, and they get all the credit. So and the coaches get all the blame. So.
Well, that's the way
We know how that goes, and that's what we sign up for, to volunteer our time out there. So it's good to see you get a game plan and you go execute it, and you beat a really good team. And we're a really good team ourselves, so we're going to keep it going. We play up at Burns High School tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We play the Upper Cleveland Bulldogs. So
they're
going to be
a slobber knocker.
Yeah, they're very fundamental. They won't beat themselves, so we've got to take care of ourselves and keep the ball and not turn it over. And it's a good time. We had a great crowd last week at Springmore, so just come on out and get to a local elementary school and watch some good football. Future Charger, Bulldogs, and Golden Lions. So, we'll see the Shelby Lions again later on down the road. I think the last game of the year we played them again at Shelby High School. So we got a long way to go before we get there again. So we got to take care of business week to week.
Well, you train them up right. We got some future Chargers there, some future Lions, some future Bulldogs. And Joel, I know you guys probably got some future Mountaineers over there doing the same thing. But, start them young, teach them right, play the game, and it'll carry over. And we'll continue to have great football here in Cleveland County, Trey.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole point. We're going to grow them and make them better and train them the right way, and they get up here and they know what to do. And, we can keep it rolling. So a good win for Crest tonight. Win's a win, no matter how you get it. We'll move on to
that
fourth
one
next
felt
week.
good because the kids were down and they came back. They've been down that whole game and they came back and won that game. So
Yeah,
it showed a little bit of
they
heart. And it's a young team, so showing that heart, that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
win for them.
I mean, you look at the quarterback, DJ Fuller, take him, for example. We talked about it in post-game. The last 2 weeks haven't been really good to him. His confidence down a little bit, I'm sure, but you never could tell by talking to him. And, he's a great kid. He's a 10th grader, and, the future's bright with him and TJ over here at Crest. And, the other 10th graders and juniors we got coming back next year. And, but we're focused on this year right now. And, and DJ, he accounted for 5 touchdowns tonight, 4 passing and 1 running, and 370 yards passing. So
that last one was a doozy.
Yeah, it was. He put it right on the money, and he was on tonight. And, that's just a glimpse of what could happen when we get going, and he's on, and the receivers are on the same page. I think that, like you guys said, that's going to put a lot of confidence in this team heading into the conference season next week.
Well, speaking of the conference, Joel's sitting over here grinning like a possum, waiting for the last game.
That's a long way down the road, Dennis. That's a long way down the road. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
We'll see. That's why
we'll see if he's still grinning. We'll see if he's still grinning late November, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I only take it one game at a time. I got Stuart Kramer next week.
Oh yeah.
I think you're gonna be all right.
We ain't looking ahead to nobody, but we know what the schedule says.
He's buying his Buffalo Creek T-shirt in the morning.
I'm sure.
On the
Hey, I don't know how they'd act this year if they beat Burns and Shelby and Crest in 1 year. When's the last time they've done that?
They're going streaking.
They're going streaking. you can best believe Joel's gonna be in the front of the line.
No angels on the new turf out there on the rubber. They could do that.
Oh, they got to pay for that thing somehow. They're gonna sell T-shirts.
Hey, they could sell T-shirts. They could sell yoga on the AstroTurf.
Well, wait a minute. Scott Neisler told me tonight, said all he needed for me was to write them a check for $600,000 so they could pay it off. And I think Joel can probably cover that. But
I think he can.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, y'all hey, put your money together. Get Calvin in it, and y'all just get a poll together and pay it off.
Well, let me know when we're going to put turf on the crest field and put the dome underneath it. Over the field, and build that new press box for Andy Foster.
Yeah, we definitely need to get that done somehow. So I don't know who we're going to have to go to.
I can see it now, the KTC, press box.
Or Dennis Davis, right? Hey, we'll even name it Dennis Davis Press Box. You want to do that, Dennis?
Vote for me, and I'll build you a press box.
I mean, if y'all,
there you go. There you go.
That might
hey,
be
you got to build the press box. Let's get a better bathrooms over there.
There
that
you
might
go.
be the only we might get a protest if we actually start naming things after Dennis. If we name it after Andy,
wait a minute.
If we name it after Andy, I don't think we'll get any protest.
We got Sid Bryson Stadium. We've got George Litton Field. We got John Taylor, dressing
Field
rooms.
house.
And they got a urinal down there named after me, I think.
Since Foster, it could be a first or last name. You could call it the Foster Root Press Box.
Oh,
there you go.
It sounds like a.
That sounds like a law firm, Foster.
I know Foster dash Roop.
You mean Robbie's last name is Roop? I thought it was Robbie Foster.
And RJ does the camera, and they do so much work over there at Crest. They're doing the banners and so much that they dedicate, and that is one thing, Trey, and a lot of our people, our viewers and stuff, they don't understand how much time that the KTC folks put into this, and how early we have to be at the games, and how many people are at each game for us, and we've got I would say close to about 25 people maybe out on Friday nights out and about covering these games, so I do want to give kudos and thanks to you guys for being out there early and out late on Friday nights.
Well, we love doing it. We've been doing it for years, so it's it's a joy to come out here and watch these young guys and young men play the game, and and do things the right way, and act the right way, and the coaches put the time in. And Rob told me when I was leaving that you could cut his pay in half and give me the other half.
Oh,
Rob worked so hard tonight.
Okay, I'll take that for Rob's word right there.
Yeah.
Robbie, you better call in.
All right, we got to pay some bills, Trey. Looking forward to the next couple weeks here with Forrest View and Stuart Kramer.
Yes, sir. We'll take care. We'll take them one at a time. We'll be down at Forest View next week.
All right, have a good Friday
All
night,
right,
good
you
weekend.
guys. Appreciate you too.
All right, Trey Albright there, Chris Charles. All right, JP, we got to take a break, buddy. All
We'll
right,
be
folks,
back with the Joel Clemmer show.
Yeah. Folks, if you're listening and you're fans, you want to call in, we're going to open up the lines now. The Burns guys may call in, so they'll take precedent, or if they come in to drop equipment off, they'll take precedent over callers. We're going to start taking callers after this break. Keep it quick, guys. We know we'll have a couple extra callers tonight. We've still got to do our top 10. And we got to get out of here. No more callers after 11:45. So now until 11:45. Fans, give us a call 704-435-2844. 704-435-2846. We'll be back on KTCBroadcasting.com.
The foot doctors of choice for many in this area are Doctors Jeff Mooney and Ron Maskarnik at Foothills Podiatry. In fact, people come to Foothills Podiatry from miles around for gentle but state-of-the-art foot care. Our staff truly cares about your needs. You can expect top-notch medical and surgical care from a staff dedicated to quality service. Whether a repeat patient or a new one, come see us soon at Foothills Podiatry, 707 North Morgan Street in Shelby.
Foothills Podiatry is proud to welcome Dr. Gretchen Lawrence to their practice.
The trained comfort specialist. He's so reliable that buses set their schedules to him. Once, he was the best man for a guy he didn't even know. He's never used a snooze button. The unstoppable train comfort specialist. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Your train dealer is Forest City Heated and Air at 457 South Broadway Street in Forest City. Call 828-245-1379. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Your train dealer is It's the Summer to Drive Yamaha sales event at Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia. Yes, it's time to get out and ride. Get up to $3,000 in customer cash and load 2.99% APR financing during this special event. And check out the new Yamaha Slingshot, the ultimate joy ride, with rebates of up to $2,500 and 2.99% APR financing for up to 60 months. So get out and ride during the Summer to Drive sales event at Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk, exit 22 off I-85 in Lowell. The fire that you desire is found at Future Energy Company on West Graham Street in Uptown Shelby. For 37 years, Future Energy Company in Shelby has been keeping Cleveland County warm and cozy with gas logs and fireplace inserts, plus keeping you fed with a Big Green Egg and Green Mountain pellet grills. And they carry the Yeti coolers too. And don't forget about their chimney cleaning services. So for the fire you desire, see Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Uptown Shelby. Online at futureenergyco.com.
And welcome back to the Renaldo Automo post-game show with our crew, more or less. I just don't feel like saying their names right now. And we do have a caller on the line.
You don't feel like saying my name right now. That's your job.
Say my name,
I
JP.
said your name at the beginning of the show.
Your job is to call my name when you bring us back in.
Fine. It's Will Boykins, Dennis Davis, Terry Reinhardt, and the guy from the Kings Mountain game. I don't know his name, but
Joel.
Joel. There you go, Joel. Now someone else gets to be insulted by me.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want more of JP's antics, tune in on Saturday mornings,
Oh, boy.
8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning, folks, we talk NBA,
Breakfast.
NFL, Major League Baseball, golf, NASCAR, all kinds of sports in the morning, and of course, some more high school football. And JP will bring you the introductions.
Breakfast with JP.
Breakfast with JP.
Yeah.
Don't you look forward
Boy,
to that?
listen, my sagebrush, my sagebrush.
How was the soup tonight,
my
guys?
goodness.
I didn't even get in time for
that soup was exciting, and my tea is sweet like my grandma made it.
Well,
good Southern tea.
I don't know if y'all saw it, but there was a blooming onion down the hall too. I don't know. If
A
y'all
blooming
saw that.
onion.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I didn't see that because you're talking about it and you said it was down the
There's
hall.
something blooming
I
down the
think
hall.
y'all need to talk. Y'all need to talk to Andre about that because I don't need onions. So you need to talk to Mr. Bush about the sage.
In a heartbeat, I'd eat that.
Check our
He might.
contract.
Well, if y'all get too close down the hall, he might start cutting people. So I don't know how far y'all want to venture down there looking for that. Put your fingers in that.
Meanwhile, back at the show.
Let's give the scores, guys, for the folks listening on the radio. We know for the folks watching online, you can see the scores. And hello, wave to all of our cameras. I'm here on here. You know, find your camera.
Hey, that's me.
Joel,
I'm not important enough to have a camera.
Not tonight, JP. Not tonight. We've
There's
got
an answer for that, JP. We won't get into.
We've got one on the mornings for him. We do have a JP cam for he might fall asleep sometimes. JP's not a sports guy, folks. So you got to give him credit for being here.
And
he does all the sports shows for us on the board. Has no idea what half the things we're talking about. All right, we got a caller from East Lincoln, right? JP, we got a Mustang. No, he's on the phone, so we're gonna get the caller in just a sec. Caller, he's gonna pull you up.
Run the scores?
Let's do the scores, and then I think we got a caller for the Mustangs. Go ahead, Will. Let's get a score.
All
real
right,
quick.
it was Hunter Huss 34. It was Hunter Huss over Central Cabarrus, 34-21. It was Chase over Roseman, 55-6. It was St. Stephen's over Ferretti Ford, 26-21. It was Watauga over Ashbrook, 42-14. Ronald Reagan over Hickory, 46-21. It was why is that score up there twice? It was East Lincoln over East Gaston, 56-7. It was Pisgah over East Rutherford, 28-25. That's a pretty good game. It was Cabarrus Canyon over Community School of Davis,
Cabarrus
39.
Cannon. Yeah.
Cabarrus Cannon.
Yeah.
Cabarrus Cannon.
Yeah.
Over the Community School of Davidson, 39-26. It was Pine Lake Prep over Christ the King, 64-0. It was West Lincoln over East Burke, 69-21. It was Alexander Central over Olympic, 55-28. And it was South Caldwell over RS Central, 44-43. South Point over Stuart Kramer, 35-0. Kings Mountain over Shelby, 42-17. Cherryville come back on Highland Tech to win 33-21. It was the Burns Bulldogs over Newton Con over Red Devils, 49-12. It was North Lincoln Knights over the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets,
Accidents happen.
42-0.
Accident. Oh. 42
And it was the Crest Chargers with the big win over Freedom to come back. Win over Freedom.
Yeah, I couldn't fit that on the board, so we stopped at the first two.
Concord First Assembly Academy.
Yeah.
Speaking
over
of
Community School of
Yeah,
Davidson.
don't you know CCAB?
39,
what were the 6 letters?
26.
I don't even think.
Speaking
All right, we
of
got
the
a we got a
pregame
caller
show.
for the East Lincoln Mustangs on the phone. 4-0 guys. They have beaten East Rowan, Ashbrook, North Gaston, and East Gaston. Next week they got Lake Norman Charter. That should be a cakewalk. I'm gonna say. Then the big matchup, October 4th, and Will, you guys are going to be talking about this probably for the next 2 weeks. East Lincoln and Lincoln. Caller on the line. JP, is that right for the Mustangs? Who we got on the line? Hello.
Hello.
JP.
Come on, JP.
Deposit 10 cents.
He may have
please.
hung up. It took us forever to get to him. I hope he didn't. If you did, call us back, our Mustang fan, or JP's got you set up wrong. JP, put somebody on the line. I know we got a Charger fan too. Oh, JP. Who we got here, JP?
Turn that radio down.
This is the Crest guy.
Who we got?
Hey, this is Mr. Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't call Bobby no
yeah,
Crest
it's a
guy.
Shelby guy there, JP.
Sorry, Bobby.
Bobby, turn the radio down.
I didn't call him crazy. I said the Crest guy.
Yeah, don't call him,
Don't call
that's what he
him a
said.
Crest
Don't
guy.
call him
He's
Crest
a
guy.
Shelby,
Shelby guy.
Shelby man.
JP
through
don't,
and through.
Yeah, JP don't even know what those two words mean, probably.
I really don't.
He
Okay.
does, I told you, he might not. Bobby. Lions could not come victorious out. Steve Green gave us a little call. Joel's here. A little excited. He's about to try on a Kings Mountain helmet to go party here in a little bit. How about the Lions tonight? This is one of the best teams in the state. Kings Mountain ranked second in the state. In the 3A, this might be Shelby's toughest game this season. Headed on out, Bobby. How you feel about the Lions?
Well, one thing I've learned that you can't win all of them. I think this is the first game officially that Shelby has lost since the state playoff. Well, they won the state playoff, but what I'm saying is this is the first time they've lost since the state
Championship.
playoffs. But, one thing I was telling one of the fans tonight that we got something to be thankful for, because if you look back at the record, the Shelby Golden Lions is still they're going to be okay, even though they got beat tonight. I heard Steve say earlier that one thing that stand out that he said tonight is that Shelby really has nothing to hold their head down. These guys have beat Kings Mountain for the last 8 years or more, and it was soon to come. But one thing I can say tonight about the game: Kings Mountain played us and they beat us tonight, and that's the only way I know to say it. From what I've seen, it was just Kings Mountain just played us and they beat us tonight.
Well, Kings Mountain, Shelby has won plenty of state championships with losing to Crest or not Kings Mountain lately, but Crest and other teams. And they've, South Point, they can still win the championship. Let's not be silly about what we got with Shelby, Bobby. I think you guys will be A-okay with that. Now, you do have a problem coming up in a couple weeks, though. You might want to look down the schedule. The Bulldogs are going to be in town, and after their win last year, this is probably in South Point. We think's down.
Yep.
This is the conference championship game, right, Will?
I think so. I think with Burns and Shelby on the road as the way they are,
October 18th.
I think that will be the game for the conference championships with Burns moving into their conference this year.
Well, I think one of the things, Kings Mountain, they had the advantage either way you go with it. They just played well enough to win the game, and I'm hoping that whatever happened tonight, by the time they play Burns, they have it corrected. But I still love my Lions. I'm proud of. They did the best they could, but the one thing that stood out tonight is that, and it was all fine. Kings Mountain played well enough to win the game tonight.
The only thing I did not like about the game is that there was a lot of penalties, and that kind of put Shelby back a lot. Our defense, the secondary was kind of a little weak tonight, and that kind of got Kings Mountain in the game more, probably at the in the second quarter. And when that happened, it was just Kings Mountain all the way in from there. And you have to say they played well enough to win, and it was good coaching. And nothing against Shelby, but one thing for sure, the Golden Lions will bounce back for sure. And I'm pretty sure that Will Banks will get them back going.
Well, Bobby, we know that, as we've said in the history past, one loss to a county team does not make a disastrous season. We've seen Shelby lose to local teams, come back and win state championships. We've seen Crest, lose 3 or 4 games to start the season, come back and win state championships. There's something about Cleveland County rivalry games. You just can't ever tell. When you go out there and line up, Shelby could just as easily have, blowed out Kings Mountain tonight, or Kings Mountain like to score 42-17 tonight. You just never know until you snap the ball and you line up and play how a game in Cleveland County is going to turn out. And I think what we saw tonight, I was very impressed with Kings Mountain, but Shelby is no slouch either. I could see Shelby going on to win the 2A state championship. I could see Kings Mountain making a long, deep run into the 3A state championship. We've had double state championships in Cleveland County in the past with Burns and Crest. We could have it this year with Shelby and Kings Mountain. So the sun will come up in the morning and the Golden Lions will be back in the playoffs.
And not only that, they will roll back in the process. They did the best they could. There's no question in my mind. I don't think it would have mattered. Kings Mountain just played Shelby and they beat them tonight. And my Golden Lions will roll back and they will make a comeback.
Yeah, I know a lot of those boys that played for those young men, I should say. I know a lot of those young men that played for Shelby. They'll not take this with a grain of salt. They'll not just fold up tent. They'll come back. They'll go back to the weight room and they'll get bigger. They'll get stronger and they'll finish this season out. So you're absolutely right. They'll come back and play hard ball.
Oh, definitely. They'll be back. They won't be down long. Everybody knows, Shelby is the ringleader of the county, and they're gonna make something, fix up something where they will come back. And I'm sure that Will Banks will get them rolling back the way they normally does. And I just want Shelby to just hold their heads up and just keep on playing the way they have in the past.
Well, Bobby, as I said to Steve, it's conference games that really count. So if you guys go on and do what you have been doing in the conference, you should be back in the hunt for another championship.
Yeah, and congratulations to Kings Mountain Mountaineers. As I said, this is the first time they've been beat in a while. And the Lions will come back at some point, and they're going to prove it toward the end of the season.
Well, Bobby, we appreciate you calling. We know we can count on you and Steve, win, lose, or tie. But we appreciate you giving us a call and keeping us up to date on the lines. And we look forward to hearing from you again next week.
All right. We look forward to a victory on next Friday night. And hopefully Shelby just continue to hang on in there.
All right, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, I think JP's got a caller around. We got a Mustang fan. Who we got on here?
Yeah, Maynard Jones calling on behalf of the Mustangs.
You said Maynard Jones?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's up with that? The Mustangs 4-0 on the season. You guys, I'll go ahead and give you a quick preview. You were last week. You still are number 2 in our area in our What's Up Shopper internal power poll. How about the Mustangs' big win tonight against the Warriors of East Gaston?
Well, they got a solid defense. Their defense is solid. And I hear Cherry talking about West Lincoln's. Well, East Lincoln's defense is really solid also. The quarterback is solid. North Lincoln has a solid quarterback as well, but this guy from East Lincoln is solid. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, he's speed. He's all around talent.
I was talking with the head coach a couple of weeks ago of East Lincoln, and he talked about the play. He felt really, really good if y'all up there at East Lincoln could stay healthy. So, were there any injuries tonight? Played any?
No, it wasn't no injuries. The game got out of hand pretty quick, so he was able to get his starters out of there. And that helped a whole lot. East Lincoln team is just as good as anybody out there in that conference.
Yeah, y'all
they're not the team to beat, as everybody knows North Lincoln is up on the top. But I think East Lincoln is going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah,
well, we were talking
that's a
about,
tough conference.
We were talking about that conference earlier tonight. I don't know if you were listening to us then, but East Lincoln could be just as good as anybody in the conference. North Lincoln, West Lincoln. You guys have got a tough schedule ahead of you there, and we wish you the best of luck. Call in and let us know how the Mustangs are doing this year. We appreciate, the folks over in Denver, and hope that they'll call in and keep a check on the Mustangs this year.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, man. That conference, I'm telling y'all, that conference, it's gonna be a surprise. I know everybody's thinking East, everybody's thinking North Lincoln, but West Lincoln is a true threat in that conference. I even think the guys on the bottom, they not really paying a lot of attention to Lincoln, but I really think Lincoln to make some noise.
Could be the Wolf. It's going to be howling at the end of
it. They could make some noise in that conference
when things are done. And if you want to hear more about that, Wednesday afternoon, WLON,
we talk about the Wednesday afternoon at 6 o'clock. We talk sports talk. We talk about that South Fork 2A conference there, and we also do. If you listen to our Lincoln game of the week, we do the South Fork 2A pregame show there.
There you go. Centophony. Tom Terrific.
Bulldog.
Tom, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm just driving home. I had to drive the cheerleaders home.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Tom, I apologize. JP's a little excited about the Burns Bulldogs.
Them Bulldogs.
I could care less. Yeah. That was Kevin's idea.
Okay. Well, Tom, tell us all about the Burns big victory tonight over the Newton Conover Red Devils.
Yeah, I'm trying to get over my Y2K flashback when you play Who Lets the Dogs Out. It was slow going in the running game at first, and on the first drive for Burns, but they seemed to be able to get a short passing game on some crossing routes on that first drive and converted 1 4th and 7, and that was just a statement early in the game. Went down and scored a touchdown, and then on subsequent drives, they really did get the running game going with primarily Keywan Pryor had over 200 yards. I want to say it was 228 yards. The C.J. Hopper, I want to say, had 96. So they got the ground game going on offense, and really just had their way. Offensive line played very well, especially after first couple plays on the opening drive, Newton Conover shut down the run, but after that, it was really a good game for the Burns offensive line and run blocking. And I want to give the Burns defense a lot of credit too, because they really just pretty much shut down completely the Newton Conover running game. Only had really one long pass. I saw that the Newton Conover the quarterback Craig had over a 20-yard completion average, and I knew they had a possibility of a good vertical passing game, but other than they had one pass for maybe about 43, 44 yards. They had another 16-yard touchdown pass, but other than that, it was all Burns on both sides of the ball. So just proud of our guys tonight.
Well, Tom, we appreciate the job that you do on broadcasting the Burns games. I'm just interested, since the Burns Bulldogs were playing the Newton Conover Red Devils tonight, was there a Matt Beam sighting anywhere in the stadium?
There was a Matt Beam sighting, but he was at the Kings Mountain Shelby game.
Oh,
so
really?
He was not, yeah, there was a Matt Beam sighting, but he wasn't there. I guess he chose to go over and see the Shelby Kings Mountain. I guess if he was at Burns Newton Conover, he couldn't figure out which team to pull for. Since
There you go. He didn't want to split his loyalties, I'm sure.
I guess he didn't, but yeah, I'm just happy with the way the Burns has improved week after week after week on both sides of the ball, and it seems like a lot of their guys going two ways or getting into physical shape to go two ways. And in the fourth quarter, they just don't seem tired. You know, you got a guy like Braxton Bivens playing both sides of the ball, and he got a little shaken up there in the later part of the game, but he's able to go back in there and just continue to play both sides of the ball, and that's really helping them. Their conditioning, and they're able to get out of these games. They really didn't get anybody hurt. So they got Landon Hoyle back tonight. He didn't play too much, but they're getting healthier, and they're getting in better shape, and they're executing a lot better. Like I said, I can't say enough about both sides of the defensive and offensive line are playing some good ball. Secondary of Burns, I think, has improved a lot since the Kings Mountain game. So they're getting better at all facets of the game. And even Benfield's doing a good job with kickoffs, extra points, and punts. So I think in all three phases, they're doing better. And I'll add one thing there. They're doing very well on kickoff returns. I think that doesn't get talked about enough. But on kickoff returns, generally they're able to stop them inside the 30-yard line. Benfield kicks it to about the 5, and on returns they're able to keep inside the 30.
That's good.
So that's an important part that people forget about, because in high school football, you see a lot of kicks come back, Dennis.
Yeah.
So they're improving in a lot of things in the game, a lot of the little things, and that's why they're having success this year. What they need to clean up: penalties, turnovers. They had 3 turnovers. Newton would have been shut out. We gave him a short field on 2 straight possessions in the third quarter, and they were able to get 2 touchdowns. So talking points for Coach Devine are going to be penalties and turnovers, but other than that, a good game for Burns tonight.
Well, Tom, in yours and Danny's honor, I wore my Cleveland Indians hat tonight. How's that looking for the Indians in the playoffs? I had somebody actually stop me tonight and said, "Oh, they're going to make the playoffs." So give us an update on the Indians.
Well, they've pretty much played themselves out of the Central, and they're trying to catch Tampa Bay and Oakland. I believe they pulled even with Tampa Bay. See, a couple weeks ago, Tampa Bay swept them, and that was their chance, to at least pull ahead of them, make sure they had inside track to the wild card. Oakland's playing out of their mind, seems like, lately, and Tampa Bay is faltering just a little bit, and it always helps Cleveland. They've beaten Detroit 17 straight times.
Ooh.
When Detroit's on your schedule, that's going to help you stay in the playoff race. But I don't know. It looks like they might slide in for that last wild card, but chasing 2 good teams, Oakland, which is a couple games ahead of them, Tampa Bay, and then Minnesota seems to stay about 3 or 4 games ahead of them. I don't think they can still mathematically catch them, but it's getting a little late to get the Central Division championship.
Well, we'll let you switch over to my tribe, the Atlanta Braves. So if you don't make the postseason, Tom, you can still wear the red and blue and do the chop.
Well, you definitely got 2 teams that repeatedly break the hearts of their fans. So if I was going to switch teams, I would probably go for somebody like maybe the modern day Boston Red Sox or Dodgers, or somebody who has a little bit more success.
The money
not just
teams.
Not just coming just short of success. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs. Really, realistically, Dennis, probably too many injuries.
Yeah.
They just lost Kitten, as Cleveland did. Kluber hasn't been able to come back. Brad hands out. I mean, I think Cleveland's probably got a message on my voicemail wanting me to come up and play, because they're about out of guys.
Well, every game I go to,
we'll see what happens.
Every game I go to that Kluber is pitching, they lose. So I'm doing my part by not going to Cleveland this year.
by not going. But, yeah, they probably are too banged up. But you never know. We'll see what happens the last few weeks. But I know you guys want to wrap up the show, so sorry I'm late, but appreciate you taking my call. And go Bulldogs.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Is that a little too loud on that? Let me turn that down just a little bit.
B-U-L-L. Go Bulldog.
How about them Bulldogs? How about that? Is that better, JP? We better on the mic on that one? Am I good? Y'all good over there? Are y'all ready for the top 10?
Kevin,
Are y'all ready for the top 10?
People are anxiously waiting.
All week. I just wanted to say, we could have made this show about
Wait a
me.
minute.
We could have made this show about me today because
minute.
we took all kinds of heat all last week about the poll,
Wait a minute.
about Shelby supposed to be
Hold
better.
on a second. Let me introduce you so you can do your top.
And here is Kevin Hastings with the high school ball
I
poll.
didn't say you. I said me.
How'd you like that one there, Will? If you thought that was going to work, that's his only job. You can't steal his thunder.
Hey, I ain't got nothing better to do over here.
You can be Kevin's tout,
That's funny.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah. You ready for top 10?
Top 10 for the
Well,
game.
If you're watching online, you already know the top 10 because you can see it.
Ooh.
But I'm going to break it down for the audio. Now we had some callers last week complaining about the top 10. I had some people on Facebook complaining about the top 10. And I was just quiet. And Terry, I didn't even call the pregame show. I almost called you guys. Because the way the top 10 worked
They were talking
was that
about
no
RS
matter
Central
who won that game tonight, Terry, that team would have been number one in the poll tonight. Now, is that not perfection? Is that not how it's supposed to work? So Thomas Jefferson should be number one according to Terry? No. Well, we're going to have that score in a little bit.
We need a score on that.
They're still against Greenwood right now. And it's almost midnight. Terry, we still ain't got the score in. Thomas Jefferson sent us the score in. All right, guys, top 10. We got to get out here real quick. Terry's got to record some stuff. All right, I've got up to the 20 teams with we're 18 teams have 1 point the way the PowerPoint works. It's easy math, folks. 1 point for a 1A victory, 2 for a 2, 3 for a 3, and 4 for a 4A victory. If you lose to a 4A team, it's 0 points lost. If you lose to a 3A, you lose 1 point. If you lose to a 2, you lose 2. If you lose to a 1, you lose 3 points. Now, if you got the same number of points, all we do is we go from record from that, and then defensive points allowed is the second tiebreaker. So, now, with all that easy math for Will, A plus B squared equals C, you know how that works. Pythagoras and all that. So, after all that, we have our standings, the power standings here. Number 18 is the Forest View Jaguars. They in the week, they didn't play. They're 2-2. They've given up 120 points, 1 power point on the season. Number 17 are Lincoln and Wolves coming to the power poll. They dropped 2 spots in the poll this week. They didn't play, so other teams jumped them with accumulating points. That's how you get more points in the power poll. For you Burns fans, you got some points tonight. Lincoln, 2 points, 2-2, giving up 41 on the season. They are tied with the Newton Carver Red Devils. Actually, I got those switched up. Lincoln's ahead of the Red Devils on that. And then we've got the South Point. I actually got those all three mixed up. The reverse of that. South Point back to 17, Lincoln to 15. So Lincoln stays the same.
35 to nothing.
Well, that's nice. They're 2-3. That's not how it works.
Send those.
You don't get brownie
K.
points for
Hastings
your Stuart Kramer shutout. But anyway, Lincoln at 15. Now we're back. We've got Mountain Island Charter at 14. They've got 3 points on the season, folks. 3-1 overall. Only give up 43 points. Then the mighty Crest Chargers. You guys have jumped back up into the top 15. You guys were 17 as for last week. You pull off the big win over Freedom tonight, and you jump back over at number 13 in the power poll. Now, here's the good news, Will. You guys are playing a lot of 3A teams. You can accumulate points fast if you keep winning. So you guys will jump up this power poll really fast.
Right.
If you keep winning. Number 12. He don't sound as confident as you do. Number 12 is the North Lincoln Knights. 4 power points, 3-1 overall in the season. The Knights are looking pretty good, but we've got a lot of teams in that conference coming up. Number 11, the Thomas Jefferson Griffons. Terry was talking about that. I have them at 4 power points, Terry. I thought we had them at winning that game. I think we do 3-0 on the season. They're advancing tonight. That means the RS Central Hilltoppers, they're winning, right? Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, they got that. Okay. The Hilltoppers are at number 10 now. Hilltoppers lost tonight in a close one, wasn't it? By 1 point to South Caldwell.
How they got beat by South Caldwell?
5 power points. They are 3-2 now, and 67. They are 3-2. Will. That's how they're in the top 10.
No,
Chase
I don't know how they got
Trojan.
beat by South Caldwell.
I think they're having a good season, actually. Terry might be able to get with us on that.
Will, you realize there's 3 Rutherford County teams ahead of Chris?
Number
Yes,
10, we had number 9. We got to Chase Trojans. Trojans now 4-0 in the season,
We already
5
got
power
them.
points, and have given up 20. They've only given up 24 points on the season in 4 games. Terry says, "Look out, Golden Lions." He says they're overlooking the Bulldogs. They're overlooking the Trojans for the Bulldogs on that one. So that's Terry in the corner said that. Maiden Blue Devils. They are number 8 in the power poll, folks. They are 3-1, 6 power points, minus 65 on defense so far on the season. Then we've got the Burns Bulldogs. Senefani's going to talk to us in the morning about that. Bulldogs at number 7. Number 6, the Bandy's Trojans. Trojans, 7 power points, 3-1 on the season. Give up 58 points. They didn't play tonight. They'll play Maiden next week, guys. So we're going to learn some stuff next week, aren't we? Is that what you say? Is that what you say? I might be. They lost to Bunker Hill. All right, Terry, come on in here. Did you see the board? That's how it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
For the first time this year.
In the top 5, the West Lincoln Rebels. Terry said they should be number 2. They are number 5 right now, 7 power
How many
points.
points they give up
At
this year?
4-0, they've given up 40 points in 4
40
games.
points in 4 games. That's 10 points a game.
Right. Doing pretty good out there in
Doing
Vail.
pretty good.
Doing pretty
Average.
The Rebels,
Average.
folks, are number 5 in our local area power poll right now. That means the top 4 goes to the Showy Golden Lions is number 4 after losing tonight. Drop a 1 spot. They were at 3. Hunter Huss moves up into the 3 spot. They jump all the way up from 7 after the big win tonight. And then East Lincoln stays at 2. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of course, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers are your number 1 team in the area right now in the 3A. Congratulations, Kings Mountain. You're right now the current king of Cleveland County. Joel. Happy, joy over there. All right, guys, give the score. Joel, why don't you start with that Kings Mountain score? You do this first 2 boards, and let Dennis and Will do the rest of them. We got to get out of here in just a moment.
Tonight, Crest Chargers defeated Freedom Patriots 51-8. Northern Lincoln Knights took care of business against Special City Yellow Jackets 42-0, and the Burns Bulldogs over Newton Conover Red Devils 49-12, and the Kings Mountain Mountaineers over their the big win tonight over the Shelby Gold Lions 42-17, and Cherryville Ironman over Highland Tech and came back 33-21.
It was South Point over Stuart Kramer tonight, 35-0. It was in a real close game. South Caldwell 44, RS Central 43. It was Alexander Central over Olympic tonight, 55-28. And for Terry Reinhardt and the West Lincoln Rebels, they had a victory tonight over East Burke, 69-21. Pine Lake Prep tonight over Christ the King, 64-0. Watauga over Ashbrook, 42-14. East Lincoln Mustangs tonight laid it on East Gaston, 56-7. Pisgah over East Rutherford Cavaliers tonight, 28-25. And the Cabarrus Cannon School of Concord tonight, 39. Community School of Davidson, 26. Will?
Chase over Roseman, 55-6. St. Stephen's over Fred T. Ford, 26-21. It was Watauga over Ashbrook, 42-14. And Ronald Reagan over Hickory, 46-21. And it was Hunter Huss over Central Cabarrus, 34-21. Yo.
Shelby fans, that was JP playing the Lions
That was
Sleeps
JP
tonight.
playing the Lions Sleeps
Do
tonight.
not email Will and I. We had nothing to do
It
with
was
that.
part of me, too. How about the Mountaineers, Joel? Congratulations on the win. The McKees Mountain Mountaineers could be one of the best seasons they've ever had on the march. Ladies and gentlemen,
Stay focused.
Will and Dennis and all of our callers and JP, Terry, and Andre on the scores on Twitter tonight and everyone else. I want to thank everyone else. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Watch us tomorrow morning on YouTube Live, 8 to 10. You can watch the replays after it, so if you don't want to wake up that early, check that out tomorrow. Tar Heels and App State, the Mountaineers. It's going to be a Mountaineer weekend, ain't it, Joel?
Yes, sir.
He's a state fan. He's going to pull in for the Mountaineers tomorrow at that, too. I'm pulling for Mac Brown. All right, guys, we'll see you
Very
tomorrow morning.
good.
Good night, everybody.
Strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win. We just came to win. Win, win. We just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win. We just came to win. Win, win. We must protect this.
People are talking about when they listen to The Boss.
We listen to you all the time. I listen to it at night, in the morning, at work, everywhere I go.
The Boss, 101.5 FM, 1390 AM, WOHS, Shelby.